Hello, everyone. This is my presentation for SPCE 683 at Ball State University. This will be a presentation to lay out the differences between an FA, a functional analysis, and an FBA, a functional behavior assessment. My name is Sean. This is my fourth semester at Ball State, and I will be graduating May 2023. I currently work in an ABA clinic where I am an RBT. It is a one-to-one service. We service anyone from the ages of 2 to 21. As I said, I do work as an RBT, but I am a BCBA in training in my clinic, so I do have other responsibilities such as updating data sheets, updating topography, creating BSPs, doing reauths, doing original authorizations, intervention plans. Of course, all that is done under the supervision of my BCBA. My experience mostly comes from a clinic setting, so I have been with my current clinic for a little over 2 years now. I love the clinic setting. I have little experience outside of the clinic, but from what I have experienced, I feel like the clinic is a really good fit for me. When I do go outside of the clinic, I typically will go to a school or a home setting. In the school setting, I'm normally just there to observe what's happening, maybe collect some ABC data, see what may be maintaining that behavior in the school setting. And in a home visit, it's kind of the same thing. I'm just there to collect the ABC data and see what we can determine from that environment, what may be provoking this problematic behavior in the home or community setting as opposed to being at the clinic. Okay, so we mentioned that when I graduate, if I didn't mention, I graduate in May of 2023, so I'm almost done. Like I said, this is my fourth semester. But when I do graduate, I plan to sit for the BCBA, and after that, I would like to stay in a clinic setting somewhere and continue to work with kiddos who are diagnosed with autism or some other type of intellectual disability. So we're just going to dive right into this. How to know when to conduct an FBA or a functional behavior assessment. So typically the IEP team will determine what behavior is interfering with the student's learning or interfering with others learning in the classroom. Sorry about that. And typically the team working with the client will determine if the FBA needs to actually be conducted. So when an FBA would be conducted in a school setting to determine what may be maintaining the behaviors, so we're going to conduct the FBA to see what may be holding the behaviors, what's causing the behaviors in the environment, and determine what steps we can take to create an intervention plan from there. What constitutes a problem behavior? So a problem behavior can be known as something that is a consistent issue for the client for that setting. It's typically not socially acceptable. And it has to be something that hurts the client or interferes with their learning or the learning of others, as I mentioned. So basically, a problem behavior is something that interferes with the client's daily living. All right, so functional analysis versus a functional behavior assessment. So an FA versus an FBA can be a little confusing because the letters are very close. But an FA is an environmental manipulation. So we manipulate the environment to bring about the problematic behavior so that we are able to determine what may be causing that behavior, what may be maintaining that behavior, and what the function of the behavior may be. So for example, we have a client who tantrums each time a particular stimuli is placed in front of them. What's causing that? Is a tantrum because of that particular stimuli? Is it because the task is aversive or they don't know how to do the task? What's the function of the behavior? As we know, functions can be escape. So to escape the task can be for attention, to get attention from someone or something, to have access to a tangible item or an automatic reinforcer, such as hand flaps or maybe toe walking. So you can use a FA, a functional assessment or functional analysis, as part of an FBA, a functional behavior assessment. But an FBA is a different way of collecting data and doing an assessment. So in an FBA, we're not manipulating the environment like an FA. So in FBA, we are doing direct observation of the client. We are doing indirect observation. So we are indirect assessments. So what would be happening we would talk with parents, we would talk with school teachers, maybe the principal, anyone who is involved in that client's journey. So you can use an FA as part of an FBA, as I mentioned, but an FBA is a different way of collecting data. The data can be collected. Oh, I said that. I'm sorry about that. So we'll move on to the next subject. Does my organization conduct FA or FBAs? Yes, we do. We don't conduct them for every single client. It really depends on the client, on the situation, on the problematic behavior. But yes, we do conduct FAs and FBAs. So as mentioned, when we're conducting it in the clinic, it depends on the behavior that the client is experiencing or that we are observing, or it depends on who is asking. So if a parent asks to conduct an FBA, or for us to conduct an FBA or an FA, then of course we're going to do that for them. The FBA and FA are beneficial, but in order to conduct one, we do have to have consent from the caregivers. And then there are also some concerns when conducting an FA that we should all be aware of. So, of course, we are manipulating the environment in an FA, and that can cause a little bit of an issue because what we're trying to do is evoke that problematic behavior. So when we evoke the problematic behavior, it could cause harm to the client, and of course, that's not what we want to do, especially not in our field of work. We're not here to harm any clients. We want to help everyone. So when doing an FA or an FBA, there are always a lot of factors that need to be taken into consideration to determine if the full assessment actually needs to be done for that client.